Ever wondered why the galaxy is trapped in this endless brutal war? I mean, for tens of thousands of years, it's been nothing but conflict, suffering, and the clash of civilizations. You might think, after all this time, someone would have won, or maybe they'd just get tired of fighting. But no, the war rages on, more intense than ever. So, what gives? Why is this universe seemingly designed for eternal strife? Well, there are a couple of ways to look at this. One from inside the story, and one from, well, outside. Let's start with the meta reason, the one that kind of breaks the fourth wall. The simple truth is, a galaxy at peace is boring. This universe, with all its rich history and incredible factions, was created for us, the fans, the readers, the players. It's a setting for a tabletop wargame, for epic novels, for video games. And what do all those things need? Conflict. An eternal war provides the perfect, unending backdrop for heroic last stands, desperate gambles, and galaxy-spanning campaigns. It creates stakes. It makes the stories we love possible. If the Imperium ever truly defeated chaos, or if the Tyranids ate everything, or if the Necrons put everyone back to sleep, the story would be over. The authors and creators keep the fires of war stoked because that is what makes this universe so compelling and engaging. It's a grimdark stage, and we're here for the drama. It's not a bug, it's a feature. The perpetual struggle is the entire point. But okay, let's put the real world aside and dive back into the lore itself. Why, within the universe, is peace an impossible dream? The answer is as fascinating as it is terrifying, and it has everything to do with the very nature of reality in this setting. The galaxy isn't just fighting a physical war, it's fighting a metaphysical one. The state of the galaxy is a direct reflection of the psychic and emotional state of all its sentient inhabitants. And right now, that collective consciousness is screaming. The core of the problem lies in the immaterium, the dimension of psychic energy that mirrors the material world. It's often called the warp, and it's not a friendly place. Every strong emotion, every thought, every belief from every living soul ripples through the warp, and over untold eons, these raw emotions have coalesced. They've gained sentience. We know them as the Chaos Gods, Khorne, the embodiment of rage and violence, Dainch, the master of ambition and schemes, Nurgle, the lord of despair and decay, and Slaanesh, the prince of excess and obsession. These aren't just powerful aliens, they are living concepts, fed and sustained by the very feelings that define sentient life. So, you can see the feedback loop, right? The more people fight, hate, and kill, the more powerful Khorne becomes. The more they scheme and backstab for power, the stronger Tzeentch grows. The more they fall into despair from the unending horror, the more Nurgle flourishes. The more they seek extreme sensation to escape the misery, the more they empower Slaanesh. The Chaos Gods don't just thrive on the state of the galaxy, they actively encourage it. Their demonic legions and mortal followers are a constant force of corruption and violence, ensuring the emotional wellspring they feed on never, ever runs dry. They actively work to make things worse, to push civilizations to the brink, because a galaxy in turmoil is a galaxy that is feeding them. This brings us to the grand deception of chaos. The ruinous powers present themselves as a force of rebellion, of change, of an alternative to the stagnant order of the galaxy. They whisper promises of power, freedom, and immortality. They frame their conflict with the Imperium and other races as a great struggle, a cosmic game where they could potentially lose. But here's the secret: they can't lose, not really, because the very act of fighting them, of hating them, of despairing in the face of their horrors only makes them stronger. Imagine trying to put out a fire by throwing gasoline on it. That's what fighting chaos is like. The Imperium's crusade, fueled by hatred and righteous fury, that's a feast for Khorne. The Eldar's intricate plans to avert their doom, that's a symphony for Tzeentch. Every soul that gives up hope in a plague-bombed city is another tally for Nurgle. The war against chaos is, in a very real sense, unwinnable by conventional means, because the tools of war, hate, violence, desperation are the very things that give chaos its power. They have rigged the game from the very beginning. The struggle isn't a struggle for them at all. It's a harvest. The balance of the universe is fundamentally, hopelessly broken. Belief in this setting is a real, tangible force. The collective belief of trillions of humans in the God Emperor is what empowers him, what allows him to act as a psychic lighthouse and hold back the tide of demons from the Sol system. But by the same token, the collective galaxy-wide emotions of fear, anger, and ambition give the Chaos Gods an almost unimaginable advantage. The galaxy is a weighted scale, and the thumb of chaos is pressing down hard. It's not just chaos either. Every faction is locked into its own logic of survival that necessitates war. The Imperium of Man is a xenophobic, paranoid theocracy that sees any alien or any deviation from its dogma as an existential threat that must be purged. For them, peace isn't an option. It's heresy. Their motto is literally, "There is no peace amongst the stars, only an eternity of carnage and slaughter." They've built their entire society around this idea. Then you have the Orcs. They don't just enjoy war, they are biologically engineered for it. Their entire ecosystem, their technology, their very reason for being is WoG, the act of glorious unending battle. They couldn't stop fighting even if they wanted to, which they absolutely do not. To an orc, a good fight is the best thing in the whole universe. How do you make peace with a species whose entire culture and biology revolves around the joy of hitting you with a big piece of metal? What about the Tyranids? They aren't motivated by malice or ideology. They are motivated by hunger. They are the ultimate predators, a galaxy-devouring swarm that sees every living thing as biomass to be consumed and repurposed. You can't negotiate with a locust swarm. You can't sign a treaty with a tidal wave. You can only fight it until you are consumed, or it is defeated. And so far, no one has come close to defeating them. They are a force of nature, and their presence guarantees conflict on a galactic scale. Even the supposedly more enlightened races are trapped. The Eldar are a dying race, desperately manipulating events across the galaxy in a complex shadow war to save the handful of souls they have left. Their survival often requires sacrificing billions of lives from other species. The Necrons are ancient robotic beings who see all these younger, lesser races as vermin infesting their rightful territories. Their solution: a cold, systematic extermination to restore their long-lost empire. They want the galaxy quiet and sterile, and they have the technological might to try and make it so. Every single major power in the galaxy has a core identity that is fundamentally incompatible with the existence of the others. There is no middle ground. There's no room for compromise or diplomacy when your neighbor is a genocidal robot, a psychic fungus that just wants to fight, or a swarm of cosmic dinosaurs that wants to eat you. The galaxy isn't just at war. The galaxy is war. It's woven into its very fabric, from the psychic plane of the warp to the biological imperatives of its inhabitants. So, the next time you see a piece of art depicting a space marine charging into a horde of demons, or read a story about a doomed guardsman on a forgotten world, remember why. It's not just because it makes for a cool story. It's because, in that universe, there is literally no other choice. The fundamental forces of reality, the very nature of its greatest powers, and the deceptive genius of chaos have conspired to create a perfect, self-sustaining engine of conflict. Peace was never an option. It's an impossible dream in a galaxy that has long since woken up to a nightmare. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the lore, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and let me know in the comments which faction you think is most responsible for the Eternal War. See you next time.